could just, honestly, I could just play that riff forever. It's my favorite. This is my favorite AC/DC song by a long shot. It's actually the first single released in America off Back in Black. It was released shortly after the album dropped. I think it was released in August of 1980. The first song released in the UK was Have a Drink on Me. Let's get into it. We're going to start with this G chord. I'm going to skip the intro. I'll put the intro at the end. For the main riff, you're going to start with this G chord, and like all AC/DC G chords that I've ever come across, it's played like this. And this A is, it's muted, which is great because you can just lazily put your second finger on the G and just drop a nice big fat G chord. Just play that, let it hang out for a second, then mute it. Just mute it by doing a karate chop on your string. So, and then we're going to come up and we're going to play the C chord twice, and then another G. So, and then a mute. Now, if playing the C chord and then switching to a G is not going to work for you, start by playing this G and then dropping into a C add 9. It's just this. You just drop your finger down one and put your first finger on the second fret of the D string. So just play that. Like that. But once you get a little better, play C string. Or play the C chord. So it's C, C, G, like that. So far we got, and then we're going to come back, we're going to play another C, and another mute, and then we're going to play a GD, and a mute. And that's your first little bit of the riff, so it's, and I have a video that just talks about mistakes people make on this song, and one of the mistakes is just timing wise. So on this CCG, the second C comes a little late and the G comes a little early, so it's, and then you play the C, and then on this GD it's the same thing. The GD are kind of squished together, so it's, so just be mindful of the timing in there and try to get those chords squeezed together where they are. Okay, so that's the first little bit we're doing. And now we come into the second part of the riff, and it is G, G, D. And again, listen to the timing on that. It's not 3 evenly spaced chords. There's a little timing in there as far as where they're coming in late and early. So G, G, D, like that. And then we play another G. So it's G, G, D, and then it's a mute. And then it's a G and a mute. And then it's D and a mute. And then we're back into the first part of the riff with the original G. And I want you to think, even though the measures, I think the measure ends with this, this D, I want you to play this, this little riff at the end here where you go, this. Think about that as all one thing. It just ties the whole looping of the riffs together better. AC/DC is really great about their timing and how they tie their measures together so that it just sounds like it's just going and going and going. So that's your main riff, and that's just played for I don't know how long, I think 6 or 7 times. And then we get into the chorus. And there's a transition between this riff and the chorus, and that, that transition is just to play a bunch of Ds. And you play like 4 Ds, and then you come down and you put your pinky here on the 3rd fret of the E, and you play a higher, like a little bit, I don't know what the chord is, but it's like it's higher, it's sort of like a D, but it's not a D, I don't know what it is. So you just go back into the main riff after that. So this chorus starts with this G here, and then you play the bottom 5 strings. And you can, for a little tonal variety, you can try strumming closer to the bridge. Like you can go, on some guitars it will make quite a bit of difference where you strum. On this guitar it doesn't change the tone too much, but on some guitars it does. So that's something you can do. So you can play in, and then it's a downstroke on the open A, and then another downstroke on the 2nd fret of the A, and you want those both as downstrokes. You want to really have these notes pop out. So, and then the 3rd fret on the A, and then these 3 accent notes. And then you play the 2nd fret of the A, and then 3 more accent notes, and then the open D, and then a D chord. So that first bit is, okay, and then you jump back up to the 2nd fret of the A, and you do the same thing again. Back into it. So and then you just do that over and over again. The only thing I'll mention on here is that the accent notes after this, the first set of accent notes, you let the C here. You let that C, you hold that C a little bit before you play accent notes, so there's a little bit of a delay. So you play, and then you wait a little bit, but there's no real delay for the second set of accent notes, and that just mixes it up a little. Okay, so that's the chorus. The second time through the chorus, you play it 4 times, and then you get out of it with the D, a series of Ds. You play the Ds, and then you play the Ds with the A, the D shape, but you play with, not with the A, but with the high E here on the 3rd fret, that G. So you play 8 like this, and then you're into the solo. So that's just how you transition out of the chorus the second time into the solo. So a bunch of Ds, and then some Ds with this added little G note, and then some more Ds. And then the second set of Ds, you want to sort of try to have them build in intensity. So okay, now we're going to play the intro, and the intro goes like this. Okay, and we start out with the 2nd and 3rd fingers here, and we play the bottom 4 strings. And then we chug 4 times on the D, actually 5 times on the D, and then we reach our pinky up here and we play the 5th fret of the E, and we play the bottom 3 strings. Then lift it, play twice more the bottom 3 strings. Lift your 3rd finger and place your 1st on the 2nd fret of the E and play it again. Then place your 3rd finger down, and then lift it again. And then we're going to play the G and the open D. So that sounds like this. And then we After we play that open D, we jump into a D chord. Okay, so that's the first little bit of it. Now we reach our second finger up to the 3rd fret of the D, and we play that and do a pull off. And then we play it again. Then we play the 4th on the D, and then we play these 2 strings, the G and the B. And then we lift off our pinky and we play the 3rd fret of the D again and do a pull off. And that ends the riff, and then we drop back into the start of the riff and we just start chugging again. We just close it out with that D. So that is the intro. All right. So that is the main riff and the chorus and the intro. It's just such a great. If there's a first AC/DC song to learn off of Back in Black, it is "You Shook Me All Night Long." It's really fun to play, and the solo is fun to play as well. If there's a first solo to learn, it's that one as well. And it's only fitting that it was the first single released in America, because it's just such a great song. All right, until next time, I'll see you.